Mental health is a life sentence without parole. Too many of us carry invisible wounds, trauma, loss, shame, and silence. I created the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast to break that silence, to give a voice to the voiceless. This is not just a show. It is a platform, a place where authors, veterans, first responders, survivors, and everyday people can share their truth without fear of judgment. We crawl through the darkness. We walk toward healing, and we run into purpose. Together, we will build this community. This podcast is about resilience, about stories that matter, and about reminding the world that your voice could save someone's life. I'm your host, Stevo, and this is Crawl, Walk, Run.
Jay Jones is a U.S. Army veteran, mental health advocate, and founder of the Mental Health Militia, an organization currently in the process of becoming a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to serving veterans, first responders, and others facing mental health challenges. A proud Tennessean, Jay served in the United States Army from 2005 to 2008 as a diesel mechanic. His military experience taught him that maintenance is about more than fixing what is broken. It is about ensuring long-term readiness. That same mindset now drives his mission to help others build resilience, find healing, and prepare for the road ahead. Driven by a passion to bring mental health to the forefront of the national conversation, Jay is committed to breaking down the barriers that too often prevent veterans, first responders, and others from receiving the help they deserve. Through the Mental Health Militia, he advocates for greater awareness, education, and access to alternative treatments that address the root causes of mental health struggles. Guided by the timeless philosophy mens sana in corpore sano, Latin for a healthy mind and a healthy body, Jay believes that true healing requires a balanced approach to mental, physical, and emotional wellness. This principle serves as a cornerstone of the Mental Health Militia's mission to strengthen the individual from the inside out. Through advocacy, education, and direct support, Jay continues to work toward a future where those who have served their communities receive the care, resources, and hope they deserve. His mission is simple: ensure that no veteran, first responder, or individual has to fight life's battles in silence.
I am Story Tyme with Stevo, and this is the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast, Season 3, Episode 24. And today I have the privilege interviewing Army veteran Jay Jones. And he is the founder of a nonprofit 501c3 Mental Health Militia. And I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. And he's going to tell his story, and he's going to talk about his organization. So let's not delay. Let's go ahead and bring in this amazing gentleman. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up?
Not much, man. How you doing, man? Glad we got connected and all that.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing okay. Just every day's, I always say every day you start with a blessing because you wake up, and that's the first thing. So I'm definitely blessed to have woken up, and you got to wake up to this. You can't get any better.
Yeah, man. So every time I bring someone on the podcast, I always ask them, what does Crawl, Walk, Run mean to you?
I'll keep it kind of simple for all of them. Crawl is acknowledging the struggle, admitting you aren't okay. It's seeking the first resources. You know, that's your crawl. Like, everybody knows that the first step is admitting you have a problem. So that's kind of the crawl for me. The walk of it is implementing daily habits, getting in a habit of doing certain things, whether it be your nutrition, your physical, kind of checking in with your home front within. How am I feeling mentally? How am I feeling physically? How am I feeling emotionally? That's kind of the walk, And then running is, getting to that point of I've got to a good place in my life. So now I can start helping others and advocating and leading the charge with the Mental Health Militia or whatever foundation you want to try to help. But, that's kind of the crawl, walk, run system in my eyes.
Cool. So what does trauma mean to you? And if you have trauma, what is it briefly? And if you don't have trauma, what do you do to help others with trauma?
Trauma to me it's not just big events. It's kind of anything that's stuck in your system, emotionally, physically, or mentally, that prevents you from operating at your peak performance. It's kind of like being a mechanic in the military. Our job was to make sure those vehicles at peak performance so we could do our mission correctly. And it's same thing with life, same thing with mental health. If you have it, it's kind of a weight. And the journey has been about stripping that weight off through the alternative treatments and intentional living. Like one of the things with my trauma is I served from 05 to 08, never got to go overseas. Every time we get ready to do pre-deployment training, I was at Campbell. Pre-deployment training came up at JRTC. It's like, hey, we're bringing the Big Red One back to the States. So they sent me to Fort Riley. I was there as their Brigade 1st Armored Division until they switched over to the Big Red One. When I was getting ready to go from Riley to NTC, they had kind of the same thing, which I was getting ready to do re-enlisting around that time. So I had to do my medical eval, and that's where they found that I was no longer fit for duty. But during that course at Fort Riley, I lost a buddy of mine. Basically what had happened is I lost a buddy that night. We were all out having a good time. Earlier that day, a female soldier was also a battle buddy of ours, collectively as a group. She had told him she was about to bring something special into the world that she had just found out. And he stated, I don't want to be with you, but I will be there to support you, help bring this child into life and, be there for support and help any way you could. So it turned into a no more night of drinking, turned into a little bit of a, celebration. And later on that night, we was all there and thinking the buddy system. She went out and she was outside. They both went out. We didn't think nothing of it. They were just outside talking. They went across the street. And at one point, one of our guys was waving us over. So we all started heading across the street. And it was kind of dark, so you couldn't see it. And all you seen was quick movement. And then one person run and one person drop. And the last thing I can remember, and it took me years to be able to talk about this where I could handle myself accordingly. But like I walk over and all I could see was red. I won't mention what it was, but yeah, so I get a little uneasy. Like I don't like the red substance. It kind of freaks me out sometimes. So I used to be very big on horror movies, but now I got to kind of pick and choose that. But yeah, that was my trauma.
So what do you do for coping mechanisms for your trauma, man?
Well, like some of the things I like, as earlier, I always have a hard time pronouncing this. It's mens sana and corpore sano, which is my body is pain, or if my body is pain or sluggish, my mind suffers. So sound mind, sound body, basically what it is. And some of my things that I do is try to focus on processing that stress hormone. It's like a diesel mechanic mindset. You got to keep the engine clean. Like people don't understand. Like it's not just about what you're doing with counseling and stuff. Like you got to treat your body like a temple, just like they say in the Bible. Like what you put in, like for example, addiction is not just substance. I mean, it is substance for the most part, but it could be food. It could be caffeine. I'm like, there's addictions beyond just pharmaceuticals and alcohol and stuff. So what you put into you is one of the things I do. Emotional accountability, for example, it's being honest with myself and those in my circle. Like my wife knows, like we can read each other. We're both empaths. She knows when something's wrong. And the one thing I've learned is being honest with yourself and being honest with your circle. Like that will take you so far, because that's at least you admitting you have a fault and you're trying your absolute best to do it. But there's also alternative paths. I mean, and that's where I bring up the SGB injection, alternative paths, because I get tired of the red tape with the VA. Like they want you to do this, and this just to make stuff work and to fit their way of doing stuff. I went past that. I started doing TikTok 7 months ago. Found these great guys that had already gotten the SGB injections, and like, hey man, you need to try this out. But the one thing they said is do your own research. So I say this to you: if you hear the SGB, also known as a stellate ganglion block, STELLATE, ganglion spelled GANGLION block, look into it. Do your own research. If I remember correct, 80% success rate for the most part, if I remember the numbers correctly. But that's part of the, my coping mechanisms is you got to find alternative paths. You got to do physical maintenance, and you got to do emotional accountability.
So last question before you get into it. You were med boarded?
Yes, I was med boarded in 08, unfortunately.
So how did that transition go, man?
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, it was rough because I never planned anything. I planned on doing 20 years and retiring. That was my plan, which last year, August 31st of last year, would have been my 20 years. I would have been done. So I struggled. 8 months after I got out, I lost my mother. And my mother was my rock. I was raised by a single mom. Granted, you've heard me talk about my stepdad, who recently passed away back in March. He was in my life until I was 10 years old. So my biggest years from 10 on, it was just me and my mom. So that was rough. But from going from a structured, mission-oriented environment into the civilian world is an absolute culture shock. You lose the immediate community of the people who get it. Like, unless you serve nobody, it's hard to really fathom what it is when you hear, like, I can literally meet any veteran from around this globe. And it's like instantaneously, it's like, for the most part, I've never met a veteran that I haven't clicked with, that I would sit there, man, if you need a place to stay, I got you back. Like, it's just a different thing. And like, the why for me is it's kind of the reason why I got the Mental Health Militia is we want to provide the missing support structure so that veterans don't feel adrift after that uniform comes off. Because one of the things I can actually vouch for is they have something, I cannot remember the technical term, but when you get out of the military, you have this little, I'm going to say it's kind of like a briefing, a debriefing, if you want to say. And you already know. TAPS. Wait, yes.
Program for soldiers.
It's been a while since I've been in, but yes. And it's just a simple fact that it went from being long to now it's so condensed. It's just like, it's almost like a slap on your back saying good luck. Exactly.
The money, man, they don't care, man.
Yeah, you said it, you hit the nail right on the head. It's not because you are no longer good to them, so they're going to send you packing. It's just like I say about mental health. Why would they sit there they don't want us to get better. I'm just going to speak freely on this. They don't want us to get better because guess what? If you get a bunch of trained individuals that you train for war to get better, and then most of the time they call us domestic, you know what's because we have a voice and we're not scared to use it.
Oh, you want on my show? This ain't
Okay.
TikTok, bro. They
call us domestic terrorists because we speak freely. We see through the bullshit. Straightforward. You can't get any more straightforward than that. But that's the thing is God's given me the ability to look at stuff differently, to see stuff differently, from look on the inside out, the outside in, and all around. Like I'm different. God gave me a gift and I plan on using it. Granted, a lot of people's going to hear about this nonprofit today, be like, this dude's got big dreams. I know that I got to, like it, just like what you said, walk, crawl, run. Today is I'm walking. A couple of years from now, we'll be doing the crawling. But one day with my vision, we're going to be running. I'm telling you, the Mental Health Militia is going to be the standard when it comes to nonprofits, the standard when it comes to mental health. Like that's my whole goal is I want to set the standard, and I want to be like, I want people to say, man, this guy's got to go. And like transparency is a big thing. And everybody's like, yes, transparency is a big thing, but I'm going to take it a step further because I've seen other nonprofits do their stuff, and I don't hate on them. I'm a Wounded Warrior alumni. Love them. I love what they do, but there's certain things I don't agree with. Like there needs to be a cap on how much anybody can make. Like you shouldn't be making no 300,000-400,000, like 50 to 150. That's the baseline. Anything lower, anything more, done. Like that's why you have checks and balances. There's stuff out there. You get your, be modest. Don't put yourself in a roach hotel, but don't put yourself in a 5-star. Like it's very simple, but people tend to sit there and let it go a little bit too much, and they get that feel of power, that feel of money, and let it get to them. And I refuse to do that because I grew up in government housing, and now here I am. I have a home, and I'm a homeowner. 10 years ago. Literally 10 years ago this month, and maybe even around this time, I can't remember because I was in a dark place. 10 years ago this very month, I tried to commit suicide. And just to think how far I've come, like how far I was down there. I got away from the pharmaceuticals. I did my due diligence. Granted, it took me a long time to get to where I'm at, but I'm hoping that I can be a beacon of hope. Whether I'm doing my TikTok lives, I'm doing stuff on here. All I want to do is be a beacon of hope that no matter what you do, because nobody can compare the traumas. Trauma is trauma, straight up. Nobody's trauma is worse than the others. But it's a simple fact that you can overcome adversity. The biggest part of it is admitting you have a problem and being willing to put in the hard work to fix it.
Jay, is your wife a military spouse or veteran spouse? Is she involved?
Oh yeah, see that's the thing. My wife was actually the one. Like I was not a TikTok fan. I'm not gonna lie, I was not a TikTok fan, and she was actually the one who talked me into joining TikTok to speak to people. Granted, I have learned some stuff about TikTok. There's a lot of drama. God, there's a lot of drama. My wife, she's involved. Obviously, we've only been together for a little over 3 years, married for 2. She has been the light of my life. And see, this is how transparent I am. I'll be transparent with a lot of, right now, me and my wife we're struggling, because she went through trauma. I went through trauma, and we both felt at that time of our life, we were healed, but we really wouldn't. So now we're going to have to put in the hard work, but we both love one another enough that we're willing to do the hard work because we know this relationship is something special. Like, even though we have our hard days, we both help each other grow. Like, I wouldn't have bought this house. I wouldn't have bought my truck. I wouldn't have did a lot of things because I was too scared. She took me out of my comfort zone. She's like, we got this. So like a big part of healing is having the inner circle, is having a good team. And I'm telling you, my wife, class act, A1 since day one. I'm telling you, Like, it don't get any better than that. And like, just because if anybody's out there struggling with any kind of marriage stuff or anything, if you love somebody enough, it's worth the squeeze. Like, things are never going to get easy. Like, things ain't meant to be easy, because if things were easy, everybody would do it. A real strong marriage, you're going to have dark days. You're going to have beautiful days. But it's the people that can weather the storm. I'm telling you, at the end of it, that's where the depth comes in the relationship, is weathering the storms and looking back, seeing how beautiful the journey was. And man, it might have been tough, but at the end of it all, you can't get much better than that.
So I remember you were on my live and you spoke freely. So before the shot, it's called the STD.
SGB, the stellate ganglion block.
I remember asking you what life was before that with your family. Can you talk about that?
Oh man. When it comes down to it, like, for example, February to mid-May is a rough time. I lost a lot of people. I had some issues in my marriage the very first year that we were together. And this is before we even got married. But my wife got to see firsthand how much I really struggled. And like, when I say I went from depressive state, I mean, from a good solid 2 or 3 months, I was just in a depressive state. Granted, it was a time of year that I lost a lot of people, lost my mom. That same year that all this happened, we lost my wife, miscarried twins. So like and then I had shoulder surgery. Like, it was just a rough year. And I've struggled with mental health because I refused to go the pharmaceutical route, because the pharmaceutical made it really hard for me. And I just refused it. So I was trying everything. I was trying more natural ways. Cannabis was one of them, because I was a medical cannabis patient when I lived in Illinois. I did have one pharmaceutical that was given to me that I took for like panic attacks. But even then, I barely took them because I didn't want to feel sluggish or anything. So like, the difference from between then and now is, for once in my life, when I go into, like, I ain't going to say I go into fight or flight no more. Because, I mean, I still have my triggers. But now, instead of just letting it, like, I could start a day off bad and it will ruin that day. And it might even unfold into days, weeks, months even. Now, yesterday was a rough day, not going to lie. I was dealing with some stuff, but I was able to process it, notice the problem, and come up with a solution and go with it. That's what the SGB's done for me. Like, it's not a one-all fix-all. You're going to have to put in the work afterwards. But how clear I can think, how I can sit there and logically think and be like, and recognize that I have a problem instead of playing victim. Like, and I never played the victim, but I mean, if you really think about it and the end of things, how I was before, like, it was kind of a victim mentality without the intention of a victim mentality. But I'm telling the SGB is giving me a breath of fresh air. It's like I can finally sit back, like, okay, I see where this person's coming, and I can sit there and realize what I've done after I've calmed down some and be like, okay, what is it that I've done? What is it that I can do to improve this? And, you know, and then of course, me being who I am, how can we ingrain this to help others down the road, especially with the Mental Health Militia?
So before we go to commercial break, let everyone know, because I always say mental health is a life sentence without parole. But if you got the shot, you still have the demons, like the nightmares.
Oh, no.
No? Really?
Yeah, I haven't. Like, I've had dreams, but they're not, like, it's weird. It's kind of, man.
You still think like environment or smell or someone will say a word that could trigger you?
I have, like, I sit there and said the blood. Like, I still, out of natural instinct, I still try to avoid it. Like if I see it on TV or something, like, but when it comes down to it, like I've seen the areas where I've struggled, like I don't go 0 to 100 no more. I might go 0 to 25. Maybe sometimes, if it depends on the situation, maybe 50. But like, it's not so crazy. Like I'm not so depressed. Actually, like I've actually just a day or two ago, I might even say yesterday, I can't remember because there's a lot of happened. But it was either Monday or Tuesday, I had a VA appointment. And they did my test, the PTSD, the depression, and the anxiety. And what I used to be an extreme, like in the 20s, is now below clinical on all of my tests. Like you have like yellow, orange, and red. Mine's the white underneath the orange now. Yeah. Like now she just updated all those tests the other day when I did it. Like I answered them honestly, and she's like, Justin, look at this. So now we're focusing on my response to stuff because like yesterday I was on a TikTok live, and somebody questioned me, but worded it a way that kind of came off a certain way. So being a soldier, I stand my ground, and I'm like, hey, I felt attacked, even though that was not the intentions, because these people love me to death, and they're always trying to watch out for me and have my back. But in my mind, because of how my past and my traumas have taught me, is if certain language, certain way, I automatically go into defense. So like I said, the SGB shot helps, but you still got to do the work to make it. Because like I'm going to say, if I could put it in a different way, the SGB got me to 75%. I got to put the other 25% of work in.
So, did you tell the VA that you got the shot?
None of their business.
So you highly recommend anyone that's getting like 100% not to tell their psychiatrist or the VA, hey, I'm getting shot and I'm feeling 100% better.
Well, that's the thing though, is when it comes down to it, like if the VA does it, they're going to know. But like the gentleman I went through, amazing guy, 30-year combat medic. Ever since he got out, he's devoted his life to this. He's actually considered one of the pioneers of it. He don't got to share any records with the VA. Like he's medically cleared, he's like top of the line, and he's one of the cheapest people in the U.S. And there's even organizations out there that will pay for veterans and first responders. That's how I was able. Honor and Courage was the organization that paid for mine. So, like, that's what I'm trying to focus on. Is like, it's none of their damn business, because, like, why should we sit there? Like, I don't care whether we're better, whether we're worse. I mean, I do care, obviously, but it's a simple fact that they're always trying to figure out a way to spend less money. Please explain to me why. Since 2021, I think we were at maybe $50 billion to now we're getting, the VA's getting over $300 billion. But yet there's job freezes and there's still backlogs, not only in the benefits department, but there's hiring freezes and there's backlogs for appointments. So you're putting more money into something to get quality out of it, but I don't see the quality. I see it getting worse. But they want to sit there, oh, he's better, let's take away his benefits. I'm sorry. I think there should be a law that once you get to, like, when you get here, you can never be knocked down. All you can do is stay stagnant or go up. Once you hit 100%, it's locked in for good. Like, I'm sorry, the VA, the government and the VA are just doing vets wrong. And I can't wait till today. It might not be my lifetime, but there's a reason why in the Constitution it says that if at any point we feel like the government is got too much power, and we all know that it's not about the politics, or it's about the politics, it's not about the people anymore, that one day the people of the U.S. are going to, do the thing and overthrow. But it won't happen in our lifetime, because these kids these days ain't got the guts to do what we had to do. So
Hollywood tells us, man. Hollywood, go back and watch some of these movies, man. I mean, I'm not going to talk, about overthrowing or anything like that, but hey, it's happened in the movies, and the stuff that they talk about in the movies, some of that stuff has come true, man. Even The Simpsons and cartoons and all that, man. I mean, like, there's eventually going to be a day, man, because I mean, like, if they do with the Richard Starr Act or with all the other veteran stuff that they're doing right now, do you think that, I mean, and the Second Amendment is gun control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some states are doing away with automatic firearms, like, okay, do that to veterans, take all the veteran benefits away from them,
Mm-hmm.
Me in general, I think that the VA alone should just go away, and there should be a system where you come in, you get your CMP, and then if you're not happy with it, because when you get out, they're not going to give it to you. You go through a med board or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, okay, you get 10% or 20%. What are you going to do? Sit on your ass? You're 100%. Then you got to go fight for it. But people sit back and think that the VA is going to come to you. But I think after you process out and you get your benefits or whatever, it should be all going out to all the outside organizations, and the government should pay for it. Everything should be paid for. I mean, yeah, I've tell me how many times you've been to the VA and you have a different primary healthcare manager or a different psychiatrist. And luckily, I've had the same exactly. I've had the same psychiatrist since 2008. But primary healthcare manager, just like you said right there, man. I don't even know if it's a he or her anymore, man. What do you identify yourself as? Like, I don't even know, man. I really don't.
No, I agreed. No, that's the thing. Like, up until recently, like, I've had the privilege of having the same counselor for probably the last 3 or 4 years, and I love that woman to death. She's amazing. Like, the first time I ever met her, I was like, look, I've dealt with so many different people like y'all. I was like, look, you have my records. I'm not open Pandora's box and telling you what goes on, because every time I did that before the SGB, it would throw me off that day. I couldn't shake that day because of that, because I had to bring that stuff up. I was like, please read my files, but here's what I'm here for, and here's what I'd like to do. And she's like, okay, let's do it. And I love that woman to death. She's awesome. And that, like I said, this is the longest I've ever had a mental health kind of person in the VA for that. But to bounce off of some of the stuff you said, one thing I will say, 15 years is what it took me to get 100%.
Well, hey, let me stop you there. I'm going to play this between us here, right between us. This is what your organization set up.
The Mental Health Militia is a movement to help people fight the dark place and help bring them to the light. Our mission is to help people defend the home front within. Many veterans, first responders, and everyday people fight the silent battle. We were trained to endure, to adapt, to overcome, but nobody prepared us for what comes after the uniform comes off. This season, we're pulling the curtain back on the system veterans are forced to survive, not just serve. From suicides happening at VA hospitals, to mental health care that falls short, to growing fears about disability compensation ratings and cost cutting. We're asking the questions no one wants answered. Why are veterans still fighting for care? Who's really being protected? And who's being left behind? And what happens when silence costs lives? This isn't politics. This isn't opinions. This is lived experience. Season 3 of Crawl, Walk, Run, where we stop whispering, start questioning, and refuse to stay silent.
So now we're going to get into the mental health militia. So when you start talking about the steps, I'll show them. It'll cross us out, or I'll just move us. But you came up with this amazing organization. How did you come up with this and the technique?
Well, I'm not going to lie. The technique was actually my wife. I got to give her kudos, because she's I'm telling you, for a woman that's been through so much trauma, dude, she's something special. I'm not going to lie. I wish I could be like her in so many ways, because the way she does stuff, she's just able to like she can have a bad day and she just keeps on trucking. And I'm like, I don't mean this in all seriousness, but part of me is like, I envy her, man, because she's just able to sit there and just let stuff happen and, you know, continue on with her day and not let anything shake her. And I mean, she has her moments. We're not perfect humans by any means, but like, I love my wife to death. And I'm like, man, I wish I could be so much more like her, because she's just able to keep on trucking no matter what's thrown at her. And that's where I've always struggled. So part of me kind of looks up to her. I'm like, how do you do it, babe?
Let's break it down now. I'm going to put us away here. I'm going to change the background.
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to put us away here. And can you still hear me now?
Yeah, I can still hear you, Bubba.
So let's go with the process that your wife came up with, man. Like, I mean,
Okay.
Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, now see, this is one that's typical. You know, deep breaths are always going to be something you got to do. Like, that's something I've learned is, like, one of the things you notice if you're having anxiety, typically you breathe quick and fast. But when you take deep breaths, you close your eyes. Like, one thing I've always did, and then my wife taught me a little bit better, is you got to go outside. So if you can, because sometimes you can't because it's raining or something. But typically what I do is I go outside barefooted. And nature is so therapeutic, it's ridiculous. But just go outside, take some deep breaths, and look. You know, like, close your eyes for a second, then open up. See something, say it, close your eyes, vision it, and repeat that. And every time you're doing it, you're taking deep breaths. Like, the 5 deep breaths is usually what you do beforehand, but I'm a little bit different. Like, this is my wife's way of doing it. I'm a little bit more, I just focus on deep breathing and naming the 5 things, where she would take 5 deep breaths, name one thing, close her eyes, come back, take 5 deep breaths, you know, open her eyes, see that, you know, it's like rinse, dry, and repeat.
So are you connecting with the environment?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Okay.
And something I had actually brung up yesterday in a TikTok live, and we're actually doing this on a bigger scale, like from every day from the time of 3 p.m. Central Standard Time to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, me and the wife, we put the phones down. Like, because especially with today's day and age, we're a digital planet now. Everything's digital. Like, one of the things I can't stand is going in for an application. Everybody's like, you do it online. I like the old school days when you had to sit down and meet the person. But I'm telling you, there's more problems that come into relationships and friendships that come off. But I mean, y'all see it on TikTok all the time. Digital is okay in moderation. So log off your social media for 30 minutes and get in tune with the earth. Go outside, breathe some fresh air, go to the lake, go kayak, go do something, and put that phone down for a little bit, y'all, because I'm telling you, that phone will hurt you. And this right here is something I always tell my wife. She's this for me, because my wife on a daily basis, granted, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's always doing something that will bring light to a day, whether just going by. Like, my wife's big on, hey, babe, get some cans of food and let's take it up to the church and put it in it's like a little box. You know, just a simple kind of act, or a simple act of kindness. I'm telling you, like, I've learned that. I do volunteer work quite often. And, man, what it makes you feel, and people don't even know I'm doing it, but I don't care what people see. I care how I feel. And, you know, if you can find a specific act of kindness or do a simple thing to help somebody in need, or sometimes, hell, it's even to help yourself, I'm telling you, there's so much beauty out there You just got to open your eyes. And I understand sometimes it's too dark to see, but that's what flashlights were made for. And that's like the little things, like my flashlight was the SGB. It's finally, it's leading me to the light again. Move with the purpose. Yes, this is something I've actually started doing since the SGB. Every other day, me and my wife, we go to the park so our boys can play, and we walk. And every week I go up a half a mile. I'm telling you, any kind of physical stuff it helps. Like, I can't remember what thing it releases in your body, not offhand, but it helps that mental. Because if you got, like, I know a boxing bag, if you have anger issues, or if you have, like, you get triggered real quick and you need something to lash out on, get you a boxing bag. I'm telling you, you let that stuff out, you do that for 5 minutes straight, I promise you, you're going to be tired. But when you get done with it, ask yourself, like, you might be tired, but you feel so much better because you, instead of holding that stuff in, you got to get it out. So, like I said, walk, run, jog, lift weights, do something that will help you in order to get those things going in your body to give you that feel that you've accomplished something. And this is something I do quite often. Granted, I do it in different ways. I like to write poems. I like to write songs. That's just who I am. I'm very big on music. But what my wife always said is, write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for, and just try to remember them. Always be, what's the word of the girl? Always be mindful of the things you're grateful for. Like the things I will always be grateful for are my family, my brothers and sisters, and the man upstairs for giving me the breath I wake up every day and breathe. Because without those things, I'm nobody. And some days it's hard to wake up and I can't speak so much now as I used to, but there's a lot of brothers and sisters right now that are struggling, and they just want to feel heard. They want to feel loved. They want to feel appreciated. And, you know, one of the things I'm trying to do, and I want to make sure of with the Mental Health Militia, is that everybody in the whole organization, the more we grow, the bigger, obviously, but just the founding people, when we first get started, everybody is going to be a certified peer support specialist, and we're going to get all the trainings we can past that, because I want anybody in the organization, once they get a call, can handle it right there. I don't want them to have to be passed around, because yesterday I called the VA for help. I'm like, hey, me and my wife want to get, counseling. 20 minutes on the phone, yeah, all that stuff, and then they hang up.
Oh, you didn't get the question that, do you feel like you're going to harm yourself?
No, didn't even get that.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
yeah.
The steps come from this right here. What is this? Explain this.
Basically what that is in the shortest terms is a sound mind and a sound body. Because these two, what I learned when I was, and heck, where is it at right here? This right here was given to me by Dr. Lynch. This says calm the body, calm the mind. Same concept, but different thing is these got to be in sync. Your mind and your body.
Hold it up again. It was blocked. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So like with him, his philosophy was a little different. Ours is like we want to put the physical in there. Like I said, walking, get nature involved and stuff, running or some kind of exercise, because in order for this to heal, this has got to be healing too. It's kind of like the circle of life. Everything, if your body's not doing good, this is not going to do too well either. Like, you got to get these in sync. So that's kind of what that's all about.
So let me ask you something, because there are a lot of people talking about nonprofits. So to join your nonprofit, how much is that going to be?
Really, to join the nonprofit, it's not going to cost anything. Like, I don't want people to have to pay in it. Now, obviously, at some point down the road, there'll be probably an opportunity where if you donate a certain amount, like other organizations, you will obviously there'll always be transparency. That's something I'm really going to focus on. But there'll be like,
when I first met you, got a coin.
Yeah, right now we're working on our coins. That's something big I'm working on. But like that would probably be something like, because like right now, we're in the crawl phase. So right now we're just trying to get the things going. Maybe at some point there would never be a fee to be a part of it, but down the road, like I said, there might be tiers that you can join and you would get stuff, and obviously you'd be part of the emails and stuff like that, to a certain degree. But I don't want anybody to ever have to pay to be part of this organization. I don't like that.
Great. I think that's what a lot of people want to hear, because a lot of people will buy apparel or a coin and they say, but 5% will go to the veteran. Well, where's the rest of the 95% going?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. And that, like, if you don't mind me talking about this, there's one thing I wanted to do is, like I said there and told you, I wanted to be a game changer. I wanted to be the elite gold standard for nonprofits. And, combine also radical accountability with a results first culture that distinguishes me from legacy organizations. A couple of things is, having the financial transparency, and that would be like just beyond just reports, we would implement an impact dashboard on the website once we are able to get one, where donors can see exactly what the percentage of every dollar goes into treatment versus overhead. We're going to publish, if we can, monthly reports, but at worst, quarterly outcome reports rather than just financial ones, detailing how many lives we are changed and the specific treatments funded. And then one thing, like I said, I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. But I'm a dreamer. These are things I would like to get to at some point. This ain't going to happen right out the gate because everything has to be built. Like, you got to meet with people. You got to pitch your sell to get these things. Evidence-based beta testing. Evidence-based beta testing. I can get that right. I want to be a game changer. Go ahead.
I'm going to show the steps again, but you don't have to talk about them.
All right.
Talking, I'm going to show the steps for the people again that might have came in late.
Oh, you're good. But no, when it comes to this, the evidence-based beta testing, the things we want to do is position ourselves as if we're like in an incubator. I want to partner with independent researchers to track the efficiency of the treatments that we fund, effectively building our own data set that proves what works. And, have a fail fast, succeed faster policy. If a treatment is not providing measurable relief for our members, we want to stop funding it and pivot to ones that do. So, like, we'll maybe set a baseline. Okay, if after so long, if this ain't working, then we'll stop funding that and focus on something that already is and put more money into that, or move on to something else that might be the next big thing that can actually help. The zero red tape thing, we want to eliminate the complex application process that, usually turn away those in immediate need, and create a rapid response intake system that gets help to a person within a 48 to 72 hour period. And it's setting a new industry standard for speed. Like, also, I want to try to move away from the client versus provider dynamic. Use veteran backgrounds to foster a peer mentorship model where those who have successfully navigated their own crawl, walk, run journey can be trained to guide others. Kind of what I'm trying to do. And then obviously you also got the holistic stuff. Like, you don't just want to pay for a medical bill. We want to mandate that the support includes a physical and emotional component. If you pay for the SGB injection, the Mental Health Militia standard requires that you also provide the person with access to a nutritionist, a fitness coach, and a community group to ensure the healthy mind, healthy body philosophy. And that's the thing, is like, we don't want the person to have to spend that money. We want to be able to cover it ourselves. So obviously, if we get the people to back it up, then we're okay. But in the end of it all, we want to create a certification program for other organizations that want to follow our model. Like I said, I want to set the standard. So if they meet our rigorous transparency and outcome standards, then they could be militia certified, and effectively creating a coalition of elite, highly integrity nonprofits.
Jay, you're going to be mobile?
At some point, I would like to do that, but
online.
Oh yeah, eventually we will. Like I said, eventually we will have an online presence, like a actual website. But like I said, crawl, walk, run. Right now we're in the crawl. I'm hoping once we get the 501c3 official, we're gonna hit high heavy. I got a couple of people that's gonna be helping me. I'm gonna be one of the couple of people actually doing grants. Like, we're gonna say, okay, here's the grants. You take on these, because you put out 100 grants, at least one of them is going to say yes. So we're not going to give up. We're going to hit it with the military attitude, because a lot of people that's helping are military vets. So we're going to hit this hot and heavy and make sure that we can change the game on this.
I believe that, as a recommendation, I think that you should have at least 2 representatives per state, if they have to travel and to actually speak to people. But I mean, I want to say, I believe I spoke about this last night. So you have a short term and a long term goal. So the short term, you've already talked about. The long term, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
2 years. I think by then we could be in the walk phase. We can definitely have some things turning. We can definitely have a website up and running. I'm hoping by then, like he was talking about, I already had a plan where I would love to start like, I would like to travel the U.S. talking about what I've done, the mission at hand, meeting up with, independent researchers and stuff, to really start trying to push the idea out of what we're trying to do, and we're trying to set the standard. I say in 2 years we should start getting a solid foundation going.
Not just for right.
What now?
Not just for veterans.
No, veterans and first responders. Now, eventually down the road, I do have a concept and idea. Eventually down the road, because I'm a very big mental health person, I would like to branch off into not just veterans and first responders. I would like to hit the civilian area, and that's going to be called the Mental Health Patriots. I've already got that design and everything worked out. I even got it worked out in my bylaws. But that's something down the road. I got, like I said, walk, crawl, run. I got to walk, or I got to crawl first, which I'm doing right now. Hopefully 2 or 3 years from now, we're going to be walking pretty strong. And then a couple of years after that, we're going to be running. Once we start transitioning from the walk to the run of the Mental Health Militia, then we can start focusing on the crawl of the Mental Health Patriots. And that'll be people that, help support our men and women that serve in, a vast majority of uniforms, whether it be military or first responders. But like I said, I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. I'm just trying to take something I'm passionate about and make it into something that, there's going to be some people that's probably pissed off about it, because I want to set the standard. I want to be when people think of something in the mental health field, I want the Mental Health Militia to come to their mind. When they sit there and say, well, this is the standard of nonprofits, I want the Mental Health Militia to come to mind. I want to be the elite. I want to be the Navy SEALs, Delta Force of the nonprofits. But but without all the politics and stuff. Like, I want to try my damnedest to to keep politics out of it, because they ain't no help to us. I mean, they might try to help. They might try to help fund it, but in the end of days, they could care less. They're just looking for a photo op.
You sound like a torchbearer, man. So, last but not least, if I'm a struggling veteran, well, I'm not a veteran yet, but if I'm in the military, I'm getting ready to transition to be a veteran. What would you tell them? And then is there anything else that you would say to the general public or anyone that's listening today, which will stream tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? What would you like to say for the closing, man?
Well, first, for anybody that's getting ready to make the transition, make sure you got your documents together. So when you do your VA C&P exams, you have all your medical. That's one thing. Two, make sure to do your checks and balances. If there's something you don't know how to do, because like I wasn't very big on writing checks or knowing about credit and stuff, make sure you reach out to, there's organizations out there that will help you figure out how to do credit and all that stuff. Like, just sit down and write down the things you worry about and the things you need to do, and just tackle those things. But know that just because one door closes and another one will open. And yes, it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. For some people, for the vast majority of people, the transition's not easy. Now, there are some people that make the transition fine and dandy, and I'm happy for them. But a lot of us struggle. But that's why we have our communities. That's what makes us unique, because we always have one of each other's backs. So just be mindful. If you have any areas in your life, like I said, I didn't know much about credit. I do now. So just try your best to write down the things you worry about. Reach out to somebody you can trust and ask them, hey, can you give me assistance with that? Because the people with TAPs, I'm sorry, it's a joke, hands down. But for all the general public, if there's something out there you're struggling with, know you're not alone. Know that no matter what happens in your life, you can get through it. There are people out there that truly care about you. There are organizations out there that are good. They are few and far in between, but there are some good organizations out there that truly care about what happens to you, and know that this journey can get so much more beautiful with you in it. And we will get to a better place. We just all have to work together as a team, because yes, one single person can do a lot, but a team can change the game.
Well, I want to thank you for being an amazing guest, giving your undivided.
I appreciate it.
I know you got things to do. I got things to do. Maybe we'll have you on in a year for a follow-up. I've had a few people from when I was actually audio podcast, not a video podcast, come back on and talk about where they are today. Did you say that you might be writing a book?
Me and you have talked about it. I know you brung it up to me, and I'm considering it. I actually really am, but it's going to be quite the interesting book if I do it.
Well, thank you very much, man. I'm going to drop you down and close for the show, but I'll send you the link to your email, and you can check it out. Send it out to all your friends. I don't care. You can send it out now because it's coming out tonight. So, but
all right.
I hope that we follow in the future, and I watch your lives on TikTok. Do you have a certain time that you go live on TikTok?
No, I just do Monday through Fridays, and then on the weekends, the only time I do weekend stuff is if it's already pre-planned, which right now nothing's set in stone, but August 22nd, we're looking into doing something that Saturday for, 22. So keep that in mind. But Monday through Friday, typically I do like a 10 to 12, and then I do like a 9 to 11 at night. But it varies because, like I said, I'm a family man. I got doctor's appointments. So Monday through Friday, I'm always on. And if I'm not on, I always let people know in advance.
Central Standard Time.
Yes, Central Standard Time.
Yeah, man. So is there anything you want to ask me before we close?
What's your crawl, walk, run?
So the reason why I came up with Crawl, Walk, Run is because it's coach, teach, and mentor. I don't know if you know it or not. I don't want to talk about my books, but in some of my books, I talk about leadership, military corporate leadership, because a lot of people transition from the military. They go from military and don't know how to transition that leadership or put it into a language that civilians understand. And I think a lot of civilians that watch the show don't understand what coach, teach, and mentor is. So when you start out as a follower, as a leader, most of the time leaders get knocked down off that pedestal. So you have to start the crawl, the walk, the run. And I always use my daughter as an example because I did not believe in her when she was a young cheerleader. Now she's a 2-time world champ, competitive cheerleader, and she made me look like Dookie. And now she's a coach for competitive cheer, and she's only 19 years old. And graduates cosmetology school on the 20th. Like, she moved away at 13 to live with a host family in Florida. I was absolutely pissed off and livid about that. But you know what? I was the deadbeat. I was the deadbeat dad that didn't believe in my kids. So there are 850 different definitions of leadership, if you didn't know that. And the military instills one type of leadership into you. And you know what I'm talking about. And then they want you to announce that verbatim on boards and shit. And when somebody asks me, hey, Steve, man, what does crawl, walk, run mean to you? Or what is leadership? And I just go, crawl, walk, run, man. And that's why I thought it'd be unique to change the podcast instead of Story Time with Stevo or some crazy shit like that. And, you know, maybe people will watch, you know, hey, if you have a podcast called Mental Health Militia, I bet fucking people will jump on that, man. So, and it, you know, it's all takes time. So I really appreciate that, man. But
no problem.
I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna close out the show. I'm gonna leave your stuff up there when I do my closing. Anybody wants to get in contact with you, how do they get in contact with you?
Just come on TikTok and look up J Jones Army Vet, and I'll be there. Also, if you need to, reach out to Justin J Jones 84 at outlook.com. I'll check my emails quite frequently, honestly. But once again, thank you for your time, brother, man. I appreciate everything. And I'm ready to change the game, so just be on the lookout.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Y'all.
Yeah, man.
You too.
Yeah, man. Wow. What an amazing guest, man. I got one more episode left. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be a special guest. But this has been the Crawl, Walk, Run Veteran Podcast, Mental Health Podcast, Season 3, Episode 24. And boy, I got plans for the next season, man. I've already got the sneak peek trailer. I'll release that sneak peek trailer at the end of episode 25. But I always say mental health is a life sentence without parole. Thank you for viewing. And you can catch this tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. So I am Story Tyme with Stevo. You have a great one. You get out of the military and no one tells you how to write a resume. You are handed a DD Form 214, your certificate of service, and suddenly you're on your own. I am William A. Stevens, Jr., a retired United States Army Field Artillery Sergeant First Class, and I know exactly what it feels like. I am also a 3-time award-winning author and an Eric Hoffer Book Award winner in 2025 for The Broken Mirror. In this book, I tell it raw, unfiltered, the truth about survival, the trauma, the bonds, and the breaks along the way, especially the bond with my own daughter. If you are leaving the uniform life, feeling lost and disconnected, unsure of who you are, here's how it is. You are not failing. It takes time. You are not alone. The Broken Mirror is more than my story. It is a guide, a hand to hold, a way to face the silence, step back into purpose, and find your voice again. And don't be left in the silence. But I'll tell you, the grass is not greener on the other side.
Crawl, Walk, Run has been brought to you by Story Time with Stevo. And speaking for the once in silence, we are the voice of the unheard. If you have a story, please reach out. Till next time.